If you've got a ceiling that looks like popcorn mixed with barf, and you'd rather it didn't, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to sand it off, and if that doesn't work, which it never has for us, you're left with 3 options. 1, skim it over with Muddskip. 2, sell the place. Or 3, embrace the barf. We opted to go with option 1, but option 3 is the easiest. We'll talk more about why Muddskip's important a little later on, but right now, let's focus on what we're doing. The goal of skim coating or skimming over a textured ceiling is to add enough compound that you can hide all those nasty bumps. Now, this is not something you're going to be able to do in one coat, and unfortunately, getting mud on the ceiling is not always the easiest process, which is why this guy had the other guy roll it on with a drywall roller. Once the compound is on the ceiling, you're going to smooth it out with a knife, trowel, or a skimming blade, but basically you're just trying to smooth that mud out until it looks flat. Now that's going to take at least 2 or 3 coats, and that's why it's important that we added Muddskip to our compound. Not only does Muddskip make the compound stronger and more workable, it allows us to do wet on wet coats, which means we're going to get all 3 coats on today before we allow it to dry overnight. Now that's got nothing to do with it drying or hardening faster. In fact, it actually stays workable for a lot longer than most compounds do. Adding Muddskip to regular compound makes it denser and therefore firm enough that you can apply a coat on a not dry coat and still get perfect results. Now, if you're a professional skimmer, you might be able to tool it to a perfectly smooth finish with no imperfections, but we're not. So we've got a little light sanding to do, and to do that, we always use an automatic one because, well, there's no dust. We hate dust. But you could do this step by hand, or you could get so good with a knife that you don't have to do this step at all. Or option 3 is still on the table. You could embrace the popcorn barf. But unfortunately for us, we had some new lights and a brand new unit to put in, and option 3 just wasn't an option for us. But you know what? Option 1 wasn't so bad, thanks to Muddskip. We got this whole job done in a day and a half. The troweling was easy, the mud didn't pull, it looks amazing, and I'm glad that we went with option 1. And hey, now that we got this ceiling looking nice and flat, option 2 is looking pretty lucrative.